Good afternoon, Bushy. My name is Ashley Kelman, and for those of you that don't know, my wife Danielle and I are the owners of the Kelman Deli. I've been asked to give my personal reflections on COVID-19 and the effects it has on a day-to-day business. So let's go back when this all began and when we were all a little bit naive on the matter, or for better wording, hoping this wouldn't affect the UK. It was roughly 4 weeks before Pesach, and this is when a major panic buying episode started in the UK. So with this very much on my mind, I had to take certain measures to make sure I had all the necessities so business could continue to function smoothly, especially as Pesach was on the horizon. This included packaging, ingredients, labels for machine, hygiene products, and of course the most important things of all, meat and poultry itself. Our main concern was being able to fulfill orders to everyone who had placed an order for Yontif. So my advice was to customers was not to panic, but to try and buy some stock a bit earlier to put away in their freezers, just so there would not be a last minute rush which would lead to disappointment. Also, rationing had to come into the equation on certain items, which is something I've never had to do, and to be honest, I didn't like doing. But to make sure that everybody got something, it had to be implemented. At this time, wholesalers were running short of goods, but with good relationships with my wholesalers and the hard work of the London Board of Shahita, all demands were fulfilled. Another very important priority was the safety of my staff and customers, so I introduced social distancing, allowing only 2 customers in the shop at one time, and that my staff had all the PPE, personal protective equipment, e.g. gloves, masks and antibacterial gel at the counter. Moving slightly forward, we are now a few days before Yontif, and most people had bought their fresh meat and poultry, so my concentration was on cooked foods. I had to devise a menu, keeping things basic as I could, but again making sure everybody had the essentials, including ready meals and Seder plates. You mustn't forget that this is not the usual Pesach that we're all used to, where we would all usually gather around the table with our families, and unfortunately some people were on their own because of self-isolation, and making ready-made meals and Seder plates for them was an important part of the process. Now that we're over Pesach, things are still far from normal, but at Kelman's we've had to adapt to these circumstances. The obvious signs are there are less people coming into the shop because of self-isolation. So logistically, we've had to change a few things. We are now doing more deliveries than normal, which entails extra transport, extra drivers, including myself, to make sure that everyone who places an order gets their delivery. Usually I receive phone messages, text messages, WhatsApp messages and Facebook messages, but I've had to channel these messages to email only to make life easier and most importantly, to keep things under control. If you do require an order, please email ashleykelman21@yahoo.com. That's ASHLEYKELMAN 21 the number @yahoo.com, stating your complete order with quantities, your name, full address and phone number, and the day that you require your order, and then Danielle will respond to your email. Finally, I would like to say thank you to everybody in Bushy community for their continued support through these unusual times, and especially a big thank you to Rabbi Feldman and family and Rabbi Nick and family for what they have done to make this special community what it is. They have kept this community together with business as usual by help of social media, with daily topics and prayers and much more. A huge thank you goes to everything that you are doing. A final thought. As we approach VE Day this Friday, the 8th of May, where the world endured a 6-year-long world war and the atrocities that went with that, we certainly can get through this. I would like to say on a personal note that we will get through this and life will get back to normal, and my thoughts go to the families that have lost loved ones in the last few months to this virus. I would also like to thank all NHS staff and all the key workers that have been working under extreme pressures. A huge amount of respect also goes to the people of the community who have done such amazing charity work and keeping the NHS staff fed and watered. It just shows you, in the hardest of times, people come together, which is what gets us through these hard times. So stay safe, everybody, and I hope to see you all soon. Take care.